Okay, I heard you also took over a law firm in a different way, and I thought this was a really interesting case. So tell us how you totally pwned this law firm and how we can protect ourselves from the same thing.
Yeah, and this law firm case kind of demonstrates some more default functionality in your on your domain. And this is where we actually observed that they had legacy broadcast protocols enabled, right?
So, okay, you're doing an internal pen test.
Internal pen test.
They're on the network.
We're on the network, and we see that there's computers saying, "Hey, does anybody know how to talk to this file server?" Yeah, and nobody's responding, but they're still asking the question. And so,
Oh man.
if somebody asks me a question, I'm going to give them a wrong answer. I'm going to say, "Oh yeah, I know how to get to that file server.
You
It's
look
right
so
here."
nice, but you're so evil inside. Okay, so they're using what protocol? SMB?
They're using like LLMNR or NetBIOS, some of these legacy broadcast protocols that basically will ask the network, "Hey, does anybody know how to get here or get there?" And we will gladly use it. We'll use a tool like Responder that will like give wrong answers, right? And we'll say, "Yep, that's us," or we'll use that in conjunction with another tool and relay that traffic onto another server. So we'll both lie to the server about who we are, and we'll lie to the client who we are, because we'll just lie to anybody that we can. And we'll do what's called a man-in-the-middle attack. And the reason why that's possible is because the client network is not doing what's called SMB signing.
And this is super common. I hear about SMB signing or lack thereof from you all the time. It seems like this is one of your first footholds into the network.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it's a first foothold. Sometimes people fix this, but in this particular case, I mean, if I can convince a machine to talk to me, and there's like several different ways that you need to enable SMB signing.
Okay.
So there's from a server side aspect where the server is requiring that the client does server signing or does SMB signing with the server. There's client signing where it says the client's like, "Okay, I'm not going to talk to the server if the server doesn't support SMB signing."
SMB signing basically makes it so you can verify that the computer at the other end is who they say they are. Just like when you sign a contract and I'm like, "Yes, that is Tom Pohl signing that contract." So when the messages from computer to computer are signed, then that means they can cryptographically verify it's not an imposter. And by default, it sounds like SMB signing is not turned on, correct?
Correct. Typically on most Active Directory networks until the very latest versions of
They're
Windows.
onto you.
Until the very latest versions, the only machines by default that have SMB signing enabled from a server perspective are domain controllers.
Okay, so the rest of your network is not signing, and that means you can man in the middle all kinds of different communications.
Yes, and this is a good step in the right direction. There's other techniques that I can use that aren't going to be solved by just SMB signing. But in this particular example, it's the combination, it's a 1-2 punch between a legacy broadcast protocol and SMB signing, which is the reason why I can now take an end user's computer and make it log into any other resource on the network that I want it to.
Okay.
And once I did that, then I got an end user to log into, like, say, a file server in this particular case.
So you're in the middle.
So I'm in the middle.
So the user says, "I want to go to a file server," and you say, "I'm the file server," and it says, "Cool, I'm going to log into you," and you say, "Okay, file server, I'm going to relay that on," and you're in the middle of these communications.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. And so once I'm in the middle of that, and they are basically logging in for me, then I can use that logged in connection to gain access to all the resources that user would have on the network server.
Thank you so much, everyone. Again, this is Sherry Davidoff, CEO of LMG Security. If you have any questions, please reach out anytime. We'd love to hear from you. You can email us at info@lmgsecurity.com or find us on LinkedIn and follow us on Twitter. Thanks so much for joining, and we'll see you next time.